Hi, everyone. I'm Benita Perkins with Durham County Public Health and Benny Girl Healthy Lifestyle, Branding and Communication. And today's webinar, Women's Wellness at Every Stage of Your Life, looking at every decade, and just looking at the important considerations that, we have to look at as we get older. I found this, putting this webinar together a little emotional because it makes you really think about your past, your future, where you are now, and really some benchmarks to consider. So I hope you get the same, insights that I was able to pull out for this and find it, find the information worthwhile. In the meantime, I'm going to take myself off camera and share the screen. Thanks. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's get started. Wellness for every stage of your life. Foundational wellness is defined as sustainable daily habits that support long-term health. These practices support the body and mind across every stage, from teens to elderhood. Foundational wellness for women varies across different age groups, with priorities shifting from reproductive health in our younger years to managing chronic conditions and healthy aging in later life. Hold on one second, let me get some water. Sorry about that, but I want to make sure that I'm not constantly. Hold on one second. Okay. Key aspects include regular health screenings, a focus on nutrition and physical activity, and mental well-being. Let's review considerations for every age. Wellness in your 20s. These are important considerations for women in their 20s, focusing on prevention, habits, and empowerment during this foundational decade. Although this decade is often considered for one to be at their best physical self, it can be a time of constant life lessons. I don't know if anybody in here is in their 20s, but those of us who went through it, I think we felt like every day was another lesson. So even though we were looking great, we were learning a lot. Let's just put it that way. Mental and emotional health are interconnected aspects of overall well-being, but they have distinct focuses. Mental health primarily concerns cognitive functions like thinking, reasoning, and problem solving, while emotional health relates to the ability to manage and express feelings. Both are crucial for coping with life's challenges and maintaining a healthy, balanced life. Here you want to establish mental health routines, journaling, therapy, meditation, regular check-ins with yourself, manage stress early, learn coping skills to prevent burnout from work, school, or social pressures, build self-worth, define boundaries, say no, and learn to advocate for your emotional needs. I mean, that's something we definitely learn as we get older, but to kind of focus on this in your 20s, you're really starting to be ahead of the game. Nutrition and body awareness. Body image refers to how a young woman perceives, thinks, and feels about her body, including size, weight, shape, and overall appearance. Negative body image can be influenced by various factors, including peer pressure, media portrayal of unrealistic body ideals, and family dynamics. It's important to remember that body image is not always directly related to appearance. The impact of negative body image can be low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and disordered eating behaviors. Mindful eating focus on internal hunger and fullness cues that can help develop a healthier relationship with food. Prioritize balanced nutrition, which this is going to be a theme throughout all the decades that we go through, is this idea of balanced nutrition around whole foods, protein, fiber, and hydration, not just appearance, but based on eating. Understand your menstrual cycle. Track your cycle to connect with mood, energy, and fertility. Watch for red flags. Disordered eating and chronic dieting often start during this decade. Seek support if needed. Movement and fitness. For young women, fitness can encompass various activities, strength training, cardio, and flexibility. But since your muscle tone is at its prime, in your 20s, this is the best your muscle tone will be without you having to do a thing. Cardio exercises are going to be most interesting to engage in. It's important to find activities that are enjoyable and sustainable and that align with individual goals and fitness levels. Incorporating movement throughout the day, even in short bursts, can be beneficial for both physical and mental well-being. And I will say that I'm not going to that's not a highlight for other age groups, but keep that in mind. That is a theme that should go through all these decades. Create a consistent movement routine, not about perfection, but find what you enjoy. And we're talking about dance, Pilates, hiking, strength training. For me, I love dancing, so I might go out to hear house music. You're dancing, you're moving, you're doing something you like and enjoy. Ditch toxic fitness cultures. Exercise for energy and confidence, not just aesthetics. Sleep and recovery. Protect your sleep schedule. Start to shift away from all-nighters and inconsistent routines. Recovery matters. Overworking and overstimulation are common. Rest is productive. Start preventive habits now. Sun protection, hydration, sleep, and stress management will help you reduce future risks. It's kind of like if you invest today, early on, you're going to reap the benefits as you age. So it's almost like putting money in the bank for anybody who's 20 something on this call. Okay. Reproductive and preventive health. This includes a range of services and screenings aimed at maintaining overall well-being and preventing future health issues. This includes regular checkups with OBGYN, cervical cancer screenings, STI testing, contraception, and addressing mental health concerns. So we're looking at annual well women visits, which should start in your 20s, and having conversations with a trusted provider, understanding contraception options, and fertility literacy to make informed decisions. Know your family history. Track chronic illnesses like mental health patterns, reproductive conditions, fibroids, and focus on establishing healthy habits, safe sexual practices, and cervical cancer screening. Social and purposeful living. Surround yourself with positive, authentic relationships. Boundaries are key. Explore your identity and passions. Build a life aligned with your values and be about it. Give yourself permission to evolve. Your 20s are for experimentation and self-discovery. Wellness in your 30s. Here are some of the most important considerations. This is a decade often marked by career building, caregiving, or redefining identities and priorities. Continue with reproductive health. You're probably, you're in your childbearing years. Consider family planning and address any relevant family health history, especially cancer. Aging is inevitable, but if you start now, you can age healthfully through the rest of your life. And while you can't control everything about the aging process, like your genes and environment, you do have control over lifestyle factors like diet, exercise, stress, and sleep. And these play a bigger role than you may think in warding off chronic diseases and increasing longevity. The earlier you start making changes, the better, because small changes every day add up for better or for worse. Stress boundaries and emotional health. Women in their 30s often experience increased stress due to juggling career, family, and personal life. Setting healthy boundaries is crucial for managing stress, promoting emotional well-being, and preventing burnout. Prioritizing self-care, developing coping mechanisms, and seeking professional support are also key strategies for maintaining a healthy emotional state during this decade. Oh, you can't hear me? Is anybody else having that problem? Can you hear me? Someone just said they couldn't hear me. I'm going to see if you can hear me. You can hear me, okay? All right. So who is that who had that question? Okay, good. Thank you. I don't know who. So back to our program. I forgot who put that up. I want to make sure I'm back where I need to be. Prioritize stress management. Chronic stress in this decade can take a toll. Practice mindfulness. And you can certainly Google mindfulness. I think the county has an app that they make available for us. I forget what the app is. But, when you're feeling stress, this could be a great opportunity and option um, practicing mindfulness. Breathe work or therapy. Therapy is, definitely at your fingertips. Learn the power of boundaries. Whether it's work and relationships or with family expectations, saying no protects your peace. Make time for joy and self expression. Don't lose yourself in obligations. Schedule joy like you would schedule a meeting. Preventive and hormonal health. Again, regular screenings. This will be a theme throughout every decade. Here it's pap smears, breast exams, blood pressure, cholesterol, and more. Track hormonal health. Irregular periods, fatigue, mood swings, or changes in libido could signal thyroid issues, PCOS, which I think is a cyst condition on your ovaries, or perimenopausal onset. Fertility awareness, whether you're planning, delaying, or not having children, know your fertility status and options. Nutrition for energy and balance. Specific nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, and folate are important for bone health and preventing birth defects. Eat to stabilize hormones and blood sugar. Prioritize proteins, fiber, and healthy fats. Address micronutrient gaps. Common deficiencies include iron, vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3s. Again, this is a theme throughout every decade. Limit ultra-processed foods, which are foods which have been significantly altered from their original state through industrial processing and often contain a long list of ingredients, including additives and chemicals not typically found in your kitchen. These foods are often high in calories, sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats, while being low in essential nutrients like fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Ultra-processed foods can increase inflammation and affect mood, skin, and energy. Stress relief and longevity. The physical aging process begins in your 30s. And this should say, I can't see it, exercise for stress relief and longevity. I didn't see it. The physical aging process begins in your 30s. And I know you think that's early, but that's when it starts. And that starts with a slow but steady loss of muscle mass. This loss continues to weight gain over time. So it's important to prioritize strength training. Start to bring that in. We talked about in the 20s where, cardio and those kinds of exercises were probably more important. As you get older, strength training becomes more important for primarily to maintain your metabolism and keep your triceps and your biceps popping. Balance cardio with recovery. Too much high intensity training, and I'm not saying don't do cardio because cardio is important, but just know that strength training is going to creep in there and become almost as important. Too much high intensity training can disrupt hormones. Mix it with yoga, Pilates, and walking. Move consistently, not perfectly. It's about long-term habits, not perfection. Career burnout and identity. The boom in modern stress levels is also down to the sheer weight of responsibilities we carry. Today's world brings pressure to ace your job, meet family commitments, keep up with a dazzling social life, work out regularly, the list goes on. It's a lifestyle illusion made worse by the perfectly edited lives we see every day on social media. A psychological stress condition, it shows itself via exhaustion, apathy, and a sense of detachment. However unpleasant it feels in the moment, it can be a powerful wake-up call. Watch out for burnout, especially balancing work, parenting, caregiving, or side hustles. We talked about, the notion of saying no. Redefine success. Consider alignment with purpose, not just productivity. Ask, what kind of life do I want? This is the decade to course correct or recommit to your vision. And get your Z's. You can get away with all-nighters in your 20s, but sleep starts to and will continue to become a non-negotiable quality or priority. Aim for 7 to 9 hours to support cognitive function and hormonal regulation. Create a wind-down routine because sleep hygiene impacts brain and immune health later in life. So whatever your wind down is, maybe it's reading a book or watching something mindless on television, something that gets you in a very restful mode. Relationships, connection, and community. Invest in meaningful relationships, quality over quantity. Create a support system, especially important for women navigating marriage, parenting, or caregiving roles. Nurture friendships with depth. Don't let busyness erode vital connections. And I'm going to say that again. Don't let busyness erode vital connections. We lose touch with our friends, and next thing you know, a lifetime has gone by, and they were, someone we should have had in our lives every day. So keep that in mind. Wellness in your 40s. Key considerations. Women in their 40s, it's a transformative decade, often marked by hormonal shifts, career maturity, caregiving demands, and a deeper focus on long-term health. Hormonal shifts and perimenopausal awareness. Women in their 40s often experience perimenopause, a transitional phase leading to menopause, marked by significant hormonal shifts. These shifts, particularly in estrogen and progesterone, can cause a range of physical and emotional symptoms, including irregular periods, hot flashes, and mood changes, and sleep disturbances. Understanding these changes and their potential impact is crucial for women in their 40s to navigate this phase effectively. Understand perimenopause. Symptoms, again, begin in their 40s, hot flashes, mood swings, sleep disruption. Track changes. Use a symptom or cycle tracker to recognize shifts and patterns. Seek support. Don't dismiss symptoms. Consult a provider familiar with hormone health, including integrative options. Preventive health is critical. It's critical in all stages, but in the 40s it becomes, now you're starting to move into a phase where, you know, uh, your health issues can become more prominent. Stay on top of screenings, again, mammograms, cholesterol, blood sugar, thyroid function, colonoscopies start to become part of your checkup. Really, that happens around 50, but it could happen early, but it becomes part of that whole screening process. Bone density awareness. Start taking care of bones now through strength training, calcium, and vitamin D. It'll do you a world of good moving on as you get older. And know your family history. Again, it continues to be important. Look out for heart disease, breast cancer, diabetes. These risks often become more relevant as you age. Mental and emotional resilience. Midlife is a transitional period because it is full of those critical life events, crises, and indeed possibilities. For most, it represents that time when children begin to have more independence, when careers are shaped and identities are defined and reassessed. It can be portrayed as a crisis, a time for reinvention, or simply a natural progression. But whatever the narrative is, it's a time when mental health can take center stage. Prioritize emotional well-being. This decade often brings caregiving stress, career transitions. Embrace therapy and coaching or healing spaces to process grief, stress, or unresolved issues. Let go of perfection. Release unrealistic standards. Embrace grace and authenticity. Fitness for function, strength, and longevity. As mentioned before, the focus now becomes on muscle preservation with resistance training and muscle work. Lean muscle continues to decline, so strength training becomes essential. Incorporate flexibility and balance. You will need that as you get older. Pilates, yoga, and functional training to protect joints and mobility. You want to stay as limber as possible for as long as you can. So investing in these kinds of things now only commits to, a better lifestyle as you get older. Cardio for heart health. Moderate intensity movements 3 to 5 times a day supports cardiovascular wellness. And we all know as we get older, or during this time, women tend to have more, we start to see those cardiovascular issues. Nutrition for hormone balance and energy. For women in our 40s, nutrition should focus on maintaining a healthy weight, supporting bone and heart health, and managing potential hormonal changes associated with menopause. This includes a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, the usual suspects. So support metabolism with protein and fiber. This will help to prevent midlife weight gain and blood sugar spikes. Prioritize gut health. Fermented foods, prebiotics, and hydration support digestion and immunity. Reduce inflammatory foods, especially sugar. And we talked about ultra-processed foods and alcohol, which can worsen perimenopausal symptoms. Rest, sleep, and recovery. Insomnia in midlife, particularly for women, is a common issue often linked to hormonal changes associated with perimenopause and menopause. These sleep disturbances can include difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, and waking up too early. Factors like a busy lifestyle, stress, and underlying health conditions can also contribute. Addressing insomnia in midlife can involve lifestyle adjustments, seeking medical advice, and considering therapies. Some of the ways to combat it: establish a calming nighttime routine. We talked about that. Limit screen, alcohol, and caffeine. And restorative practices, Tai Chi, slow walks, restorative yoga can help to regulate the nervous system and get you in a state to be restful. Reconnecting with self and purpose in your 40s involves self-reflection. I know this slide is awful. I wish it was clearer, but it's not. Uh, but I think it gets the point across. Looking at yourself and all the different parts of who you are, right? So it's about self-reflection, rediscovering passions, and taking intentional steps towards a more fulfilling life. It's about understanding your core values, identifying your strengths, and aligning them with activities that bring you joy and meaning. This journey may involve exploring new interests, revisiting forgotten passions, and challenging yourself to grow, all while accepting your past and embracing the present. Rediscover your identity after years of caregiving, career building. Ask the question again: who am I now? Make room for joy, creativity, and purpose. This decade is a powerful time, again, to rediscover. Consider spiritual uh, and community involvement as sources of fulfillment. Embrace your changing body. Show compassion towards changes in skin, shape, libido, and energy. Prioritize self-respect over self-criticism. Wellness is about supporting your body, not fighting it. Wellness in your 50s. Hey. In this decade, this is a decade that often brings postmenopause, shifting life roles, and a powerful opportunity to prioritize health, joy, and intentional living. Postmenopausal health and hormonal balance. Postmenopause, the stage following menopause, is marked by a continued decline in estrogen levels, leading to potential health concerns like osteoporosis and increased risk of heart disease. While some menopausal symptoms may subside, others can persist or new ones arise, requiring attention to overall health and hormonal balance. Proper diet and exercise are helpful in maintaining health and hormonal balance. And that's pretty much what's important. Again, we talk about vitamin D for bone health and fiber to aid in regulation and feelings of fullness and exercise. If experiencing bothersome symptoms, discuss hormone therapy with a healthcare provider. Hormone therapy can help manage symptoms like hot flashes and vaginal dryness, but individual risk and benefits need careful consideration. Understand postmenopause. Estrogen and progesterone levels are their lowest, impacting bone, heart, and brain health. Women's heart disease risk rise after menopause. Track symptoms and changes. Even after you stop your period, you may experience the hot flashes and the vaginal dryness or mood shifts. And again, consider support options. Also, there's supplements. We talked about hormone therapy, but supplements like B vitamins, and there's some other stuff out there, are good for hormonal balance and stress management. And prevention and monitoring still continue to become essential. Stay current on your screenings. Know your numbers. Again, women's heart disease risk rise after menopause, so prioritize the exercise and the whole foods. And know the signs of a heart attack for women, which differ from men. Fatigue, jaw pain, nausea, back pain. Be knowledgeable about the signs of heart attack for women, especially during this during this period. strength, balance, and joint support. Continue building and preserving that muscle mass. That does not stop. Prioritize mobility and balancing. Again, and the balance part starts to become more important as you get older because balance is so important for older people because falls are usually the first step to a huge decline. Your bones are more fragile, so the better your balance is, the more you're able to maintain and not put yourself in a position to have that as a reason for a decline in your health, over a period of time. Protect joints again. And low impact movements like swimming, cycling, walking, they support endurance and circulation and allow you to kind of protect your joints. Because as we get older as well, those joints start to need a little care. Cognitive health and emotional wellness. Protect brain health. Movement, mental stimulation like reading puzzles and learning, social engagement, and healthy fats. These are all things to consider when you're protecting your brain health. Address mood changes. Depression and anxiety can resurface. Stay connected, talk to a therapist, or join a women's group. Sleep is vital. Protect quality sleep with good habits and address sleep disruptions early. We talked about how that starts to rear its head as we start to go through menopause. Self-definition and joy. This is a rebirth decade. Children may leave home, caregiving roles shift, and career chapters close or evolve. Reconnect with what brings you joy. Travel, hobbies. We have a woman learning how to play the guitar. If you ever wanted to play the guitar, why not start now? Brings you joy. Release limiting beliefs. You are not too old to start something new. This is your time. So don't think I can't start this now. I'm told this is the time to start anything you want to start. Connection, sisterhood, and advocacy. Stay socially engaged. Isolation is a risk factor for chronic illness. Nurture friendships, join groups, or mentor others. Be a wellness advocate. Use your wisdom to support other women, your family, and your community. Don't go it alone. Midlife wellness thrives on community and shared knowledge. Wellness in your 60s. And this is our last decade, which kind of takes us on out because this is where you really start to invest in, or you've invested in, you know, getting older with quality of life, with longevity. Here are the considerations. This is a powerful decade, often shaped by wisdom, reinvention, and a renewed focus on graceful aging, independence, and vitality. These concepts encapsulate a positive and proactive approach to growing older. It emphasizes embracing the later stages of life with a focus on personal growth, continued purpose, and maintaining physical and mental well-being. This involves adapting to changes, pursuing new passions, and fostering a sense of fulfillment and joy. Proactive preventive health care. Again, stay up on your screenings. Manage chronic conditions. At this point, hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, thyroid issues are more common. Work with a care team you trust. Hopefully, if you've been proactive in the other decades, these kinds of issues are going to be much more manageable. Review medications and supplements regularly to avoid interactions and stay current with your body's needs. Be vigilant about, as we get older, we tend to be on, medications. There could be different ones. So be very vigilant and informed about, interactions with different medications. bones, muscle, and joint prevention, brain health, and emotional resilience. Osteoporosis risk, again, is there. The threat is it continues to increase as you get older. So you're prioritizing calcium, vitamin D, and weight-bearing exercises. Maintain muscle strength and balance. We've got Pilates, Tai Chi. These are all exercises that are gentle on the joints and are going to give you power and strength. And will help you prevent falls and maintain independence because there's a balance element to those kinds of exercises. Address joint health. Again, we looked at low pack activities like swimming and yoga. And we said maintain muscle and balance. That's what I meant with Pilates and Tai Chi. And then the health, being able to work out with joint health with the swimming and yoga. Brain health and emotional resilience. Stimulate the mind, continue to stimulate the mind. And you started that in your 50s. And most of these are the same considerations that as in your 50s. Read, take classes, learn a language, explore creative hobbies, stay socially engaged. Again, isolation is linked to memory loss and depression. Stay connected with friends and family. Watch for mood shifts. Continue to watch. Retirement, loss, or life transition may stir anxiety or sadness. Therapy, faith groups, or supportive circles can help. And sleep and restorative practice. Prioritize deep sleep. Hormonal and neurological changes may disrupt your sleep. Avoid stimulants, manage light exposure, and adopt a wind-down routine. Naps are great. Now's the time to really lean into those naps. And relaxation techniques like breathing, exercise, or gentle yoga. And then for nutrition, focus on, again, it's the same thing, nutrient dense, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats. It's the same song, and if you've been doing this all along, then you're in a great space once you get to this point. Adjust for energy needs. Appetite and metabolism may change. Tune into hunger and fullness, and support digestive health. Consider probiotics, fiber, hydration. And movement for joy, I forgot that. Exercise regularly, doing the things you like, being careful of your joints, doing fun classes, and we're going to move on here. Graceful aging and body kindness, self-redefinition and purpose. Body image, or how one perceives their own body, can be significantly impacted by the aging process, with both positive and negative changes possible. While physical changes like wrinkles and graying hair are common, the impact on body image and mental health varies. Some individuals may struggle to accept these changes, while others may find a great sense of self-acceptance and even body appreciation with age, particularly if they focus on physical health and well-being. Reimagine this chapter. Whether retired or still working, now is the time to lean into what gives you joy and meaning. Explore purpose-driven activities, mentoring, travel, advocacy, creative expressions, caregiving, community engagement. Practice self-compassion. Celebrate the strength, survival, and wisdom of your body. Prioritize beauty from within. Radiance comes from rest, hydration, confidence, and inner peace. Shift from hustle to harmony. Allow rest, reflection, and slow living to be part of your wellness rhythm. Honor your body. Accept and care for the changes. Aging is not a decline, it's an evolution. And lastly, continue to be true to your wellness considerations, and your 70s and beyond will be wonderful. And thank you for joining. This is my info, and oops, sorry. Let's see if I can go back. This is my info. I also have, I didn't put it, maybe I'll put it in the chat. For those of you who might not be uh, with the county, this is Benita at bennygirl.com. And so I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Thank you so much for tuning in to the webinar. I hope you found it helpful. I'm going to look and see if there's any questions or comments in the chat. So let me just check. Wow. Thank you very much, guys. I'm getting the feedback of, that it was informative, that you enjoyed it. The one thing I have an issue with GoToWebinar is that it's unlike Zoom, you can't come on mic and we have a conversation with each other and make it more of an integrative, interactive situation. But I do appreciate the comments, so thank you. And Joyce, yeah, thank you for looking at my sincerity. Like I said, I did say that this was a subject and a content that I found very illuminating, not only hopefully for you, but for myself. There's a lot of revolutions that we go through as women, from, the 20s on up. We've got, finding ourselves in the 20s. We've got caretaking, 30s and 40s and 50s. Then we have, how do we manage? We're still a lot of times being asked by family and friends to continue that support as we get older, 60, 70, 80. So we're always kind of on call. It's important to be very aware not only of, that we're taking care of so many other things, but that we're taking care of ourselves. So hopefully this webinar highlighted, where we need to be focused during those different age times. The other thing I want to say is that this webinar is recorded and will be available on Durham County's channel. Durham County has a public health channel on GoToWebinar, and I will send everyone the link for that, so you can always find this. Feel comfortable sharing it with, especially if you're in the middle, maybe there's information you want to share with your 20-year-old or teenagers. Maybe there's information you want to share with your parents, your mother. Wherever you are in this, feel free to share it with others. The other thing is there are so many topics on our channel, not just this, so many wellness topics to look at. So feel free to peruse everything that we have on there. And again, thank you so much for joining. And and if you have, again, any questions, when I send the email, you'll have my email. Feel free to reach out. Thanks. Bye-bye.